What's up, guys? Dave Nader 1, 2, and 2, and I'm back! Sorry for the break there, guys. I needed a minute to get through some personal problems, and did I fix any of it? No! Can I do anything about it? No! So I said, whatever, fuck it, let's make Yu-Gi-Oh videos. Yu-Gi-Mons! And before all this crap happened, there was a card that I actually wanted to talk about called Urgent Rescue Panic Button Room Thing. It's an interesting card, but it's been announced for a couple of days. No one's going to be looking for this. So instead, I'm going to shift away from talking about this card specifically and actually doing a discussion video on the mechanic that the card uses, called Sophie's Choice. Now, Sophie's Choice is not a Yu-Gi-Oh term, it's a literary term. Basically meaning when you give another person an ultimatum where none of the choices are really that great. It's a lose-lose. Like, I could shoot you in the right foot or I could shoot you in the left foot. Take your pick. Well, I really like kicking things with my right foot, I guess. But ideally, you don't want to get shot, but that wasn't a choice. And why are we talking about Sophie's Choice? Well, for instance, this card lets you reel 3 beast monsters from your deck that have like 300 attack and 100 defense. Opponent picks one, and the other one gets shuffled into the deck. Why am I talking about this mechanic? Some people think it's kind of monotonous and annoying, and they would rather it just be like Rhoda, where it's a 1-for-1. However, for the sake of discussion, I'm going to put forth an opinion that this type of effect is actually extremely healthy for the game, and this is why. Reinforcements of the Army has seen its time on the ban list at 1 and at 2, and I even think it was banned at one point. This thing is all over the place. Why is that? Well, I mean, on its surface, all Rhoda does is let you grab one level 4 or lower, I'm pretty sure it's or lower, warrior monster from your deck. The issue is it's generic warrior support, which means anytime a really good warrior deck like 6 Samurais or S-Knights or Ultra Athletes come around, this is immediately going to their deck with as many copies as the ban list will allow. Because it's a complete 1-for-1, it's basically like running a 4th or 5th copy of the one level 4 warrior monster that you absolutely need. And if Necros have taught us anything, consistency is the most important thing for a deck. A deck that can make the same plays consistently is going to find itself winning more and more and more, as long as those plays are worth a damn. It doesn't matter how powerful your deck is, if it's like a 5-card combo and you need to open it to win, that's not going to win a lot. And every card that lets you get to another card of your choice is important when trying to make your deck more consistent. However, on the flip side, when a deck gets too consistent, it becomes broken if the deck's at all any good, and you're going to find yourself wishing that it was all banned, and it's annoying. Which is why things like Shrit's on the ban list. Necros got raffle stomped by it because it was really good. So in comes our Sophie's Choice, which actually started with an old card called Painful Choice. Now you're gonna be like, oh Dave, how can this Sophie's Choice mechanic be good for the game when your first example is a banned card? Well, that would be an excellent argument. But bear with me 1 second. Painful Choice at its heart is actually a really, really fair card. You reveal 4 cards out of your deck, your opponent picks one of them, the rest of them just go to the graveyard to be never seen again. Aha! That's the problem. The card is a spell, which means it's extremely easy to run in any deck. It doesn't have any strange activation conditions, and it puts the cards that you didn't want in the graveyard. Ugh. Now, for certain decks, having a graveyard setup like that is completely unimportant. It's not going to help them in the least bit. The issue is the card's completely generic, so a deck like Exodia or Zombies, which would love to pick certain cards out of its deck and put them in the graveyard where it can get at them later, this card becomes a problem. But at its heart, it was a good idea. It was just a little too generic for its own good and a little clumsy. The next example that comes up that I could actually think of off the top of my head when I made this video is Spellbook Library of the Crescent. Did you make any more noise? No. This is a great example of Sophie's Choice because it requires you to not have any of these spellbook things in your graveyard in order to activate the card. Which means if you see this thing late game, oh boy, is it a brick. Sure, spellbooks can manipulate the graveyard a little bit and get their spellbooks out of the graveyard in order to make this thing live again, but they have to do that, and so if you can't, the card's dead. But when you open it, it lets you get at a card. And because you don't necessarily get the one card that you actually want, means that your deck is getting a card, you're getting some advantage, but it's not necessarily the proper advantage, which requires you as a player to play around that. Which means that yes, your deck's a little more consistent, but not so consistent that you're just gonna blow everything out of the water. which is why I think Sophie's Choice is a great mechanic for the game, as long as it's utilized properly. Boars from the Noble Knights thing is another great example, except I think the reason why he's totally balanced and perfect for the deck is because the deck's bad, and it can be as consistent as it wants. It can't do anything. Next card! I'm just kidding. He's a roto target. Next card! Pantheism of the Monarchs. Pantheism of the Monarchs is an amazing draw card. It's also a great search card, which is probably why it's not balanced. However, from its searching ability, it's actually really good for a deck that, frankly, has consistency problems. The only problem with Pantheism, to make it not a balanced card, ignoring the fact that it also has a second effect that's a draw effect, ignore that, is actually another card entirely. Tenacity. Because who cares if you have to have your opponent pick a card to, make you a bit of a wobbly advantage when you can just pick 2 copies of this and the card you want. Having a Sophie's Choice search card that searches a just pure 1-for-1 search card is dumb. So you were so close to figuring out how to balance this mechanic that I love so much. So close. Here we have the card we were talking about before, Urgent Ferret Furry Fest. And this is a really great example of why Sophie's Choice is a cool mechanic to put in the game. It searches the rescue monsters, and I think they're the only ones that actually fit the beast 300, 100 attack defense spread thing, so it only gets them, but it is generic in the sense that it doesn't specifically name them as an archetype. So down the line, this thing could be used for other things, but it's not so easily abused. It's a great way to add consistency to a deck without absolutely running away with it. But I think the perfect example of utilizing Sophie's Choice just right is Cosmo Tin Can. Why, you say? Well, because Cosmo Tin Can ain't a spell, it's a monster. And there, I think, lies the perfectness of this beautifully designed, it's such a good card. It's not broken, it just makes the deck work, it doesn't do anything stupid, it's completely balanced. I love this stupid thing. And why am I saying this? Well, number one, it's got a life point activation condition, which sure isn't as relevant nowadays as it used to be, but it is a cost. It's at least a cost, right? Like, it's not just you get to play the card. And it activates in the end phase, which means you can't readily, right away, necessarily, use the card that you grabbed, depending on what you got. And it's random. It's 3 cards, and your opponent doesn't even get to pick the worst of them, so it's a complete random choice. It adds consistency to the deck. You're not allowed to pick 3 of the same stupid thing, like Tenacity. Ugh. And the current limitation of Dark Destroyer means that you actually have to really, really think about the 3 cards you pick with your tin can. And furthermore, they figured out you can even put the crap in the graveyard. It doesn't matter that much. Sure, we like to play things like Call of the Haunted and Oasis of the Dragon Souls, and there's that new Marauding Captain card that would be immediately going Cosmos once we get it. But those are unsearchable things. Those are unsearchable, continuous, and regular traps. We can't actually get those. So like 50-50, a Cosmo in the graveyard, it's stuck in there. Unless you got like, a Sword Trooper or something. So when they designed Tin Can, they figured out a great way to utilize this Sophie's Choice thing. It's painful choice in its most truest sense, but they made it a monster, so it wastes the normal summon. It's got like no attack, no defense. It's perfect. But anyway, guys, let me know in the comments below what you guys think, if this is actually a mechanic you like to see more of. I think it is. I think it's really cool. It adds a certain level of randomness to a game that is a card game. It should be random. A deck shouldn't be able to search every card in it. Necros. It's a card game. But anyway, guys, let me know in the comments below what you guys think. And before I sign off, for anyone that's still watching the video, which is like 5 of you, because my viewer retention drops like 90% once it hits like the last 30 seconds. I just want to thank you guys so, and I'm gonna drop the Dave Nader voice. I'm gonna thank you guys so much for all your comments on the video that Yugi Nono posted a while back. That was wonderful. Thank you so much, guys. That actually helped a lot. This is a quick video. I'm not positive how well it's gonna turn out. I just needed to get back into it, and I really, really appreciate all the support I got on that video. It was wonderful, guys. It helped amazing. And Yugi Nono, thanks, buddy. It meant a lot that you did that for me, because I didn't want to get on here and mope. It's not right for any parties involved or you guys. You guys don't care, but before I ramble too much, thank you. I really thank you guys. There's almost 21,000 of you who give a damn about what I have to talk about, which is frankly astounding. So, guys, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. And anyway, guys, remember, if you don't troll the meta, who will? I'll see you guys next time.